So my Facebook is Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Opinions expressed by the hosts do not necessarily state or reflect
Magandang hapon to Saipan, Tinian, Rora, and the beautiful island of Guam. Nagbabalik po ang
Kumusta, kabayan?
Ayan,
We're complete.
full team ngayon.
Yes. And
After
I'm
a
still
long
waiting for
time.
you.
Sorry, last week medyo
Yeah.
sumama pakiramdam ko na inabot na naman ako ng high blood.
Ay,
Oh,
ay, ay.
kaka-stroke lang ng kaibigan kong matalik. So,
Mhm.
sabi ko kailangan kong huminga muna at
Mhm.
huminahon bago ma-excite dahil bumalik na pala sa Himpapawid
Ang diwata.
ang diwata. Oo.
And then this morning, talagang we're so busy, no? Tessie?
Oo.
Mm.
Mahirap pala.
Mahirap pala maging
Yeah.
artista.
Well, anyway,
So,
we at the consulate have also been quite busy over the past week or week and a half. No, we just completed our training in Singapore for the overseas voting for the Philippine midterm elections of 2019, and Tita Tess was there yesterday when we did the final
I'm
testing.
sorry,
and
Consul,
sealing.
I forgot my
No
schedule.
problem.
I was so busy.
So we did the final testing and sealing of the vote counting machine that we will be using when
How
we
is
receive
it?
the ballots. It worked smoothly. We didn't face any major issues. Medyo advantage tayo dito
Is
sa
she the
Guam.
only one? who
No,
came?
maraming pumunta.
Oh, okay.
The Eskwela Munti teachers were there because they also had classes. So they were there. So they tried to fill out the test ballots and ayun. So gumana yung machine, sumakto lahat ng bilang. So we're ready to go. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're ready to go. So we reported that to our headquarters in Manila. And
Consul, I heard there's a lot of senators that are running.
yes, there are 62 senators for 12
Oh my
seats.
goodness. And how many
62 for
positions?
12.
And for
For 12?
Yeah. So
Wow.
and I thought that was a lot. And then I tried identifying this morning. Well, we were there the whole morning as well, and up to this afternoon. I just went home briefly to prepare for the show.
Mhm.
So I told I thought 62. That's a lot of people to choose from, and I thought it was going to be a dilemma for me to,
Yeah.
decide who the 12 should be, right? And then I could only manage to get to 11. So and I said, I wonder who the lucky 12th person would be. So
So part of those 60 some,
yeah.
are the Ocho Derecho group.
Yes.
Oh, what do you
yes.
call outside?
That's the
That's the
opposition,
opposition.
coalition.
I
Right.
see.
Yeah.
They're
And
running
then there
against
are
the,
some independents like
right.
Grace Poe.
Yes.
I don't know.
So some of them are independents. Some
And
of them
yet-
have political parties, but they guest in the, they're guest candidates in all the different slates.
I
So
see.
So, but is it possible that those who are independent are also supporting the administration?
yes, it's possible. So that's what I'm trying to explain. They may be independent when they
Yes.
file their candidacy. That means they're non-aligned with any of the political parties. But when the campaign season comes in, as it already has, it's getting quite a frenetic pace right now in the Philippines because the local candidates have now already entered the campaign period as well. So the candidates for the local government units, Metro Manila, the mayoral races in Metro Manila. It's
So
quite
this
interesting.
one here is just specifically for senators. Only
Because
senators.
for
What about the
overseas
barangay?
voting, we only cover national elected positions,
Mm.
which means senators and the party list representatives, because those are elected nationally. We don't have the capacity yet to do local elections because how do we divide
Right. And there's a lot.
what your precincts will be? Where will you vote? Bulacan, Metro Manila, right? So or Kuya Rolly, for example, is he going to vote as a Caloocan resident or Marikina resident or Bicol? Right? Paano natin gagawin yan? And how do you manage the technology to be able to do that? Because it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be.
You know, because we don't even know what hometowns everyone is from. Right? It's going to be a
Yeah.
challenge. So anyway, that's what we were doing. But
Interesting.
remember, Tita Tess, yesterday we were discussing that of all the island jurisdictions covered by our consulate here on Guam,
Correct.
that Guam had the lowest turnout.
Yes.
And I think one of the reasons there, I told you yesterday, was because Guam Filipinos and Filipino Americans are more mobile, right? So they might have registered last time, but now they're over in
They're
Honolulu
off.
already, or are already on the West Coast, or have moved on elsewhere, got married and moved on elsewhere, you know. And also,
Or have just plain forgotten.
no, and because
No.
here on Guam, they had to do their voting personally. That meant they had to go, they had to schlep all over to the consulate and get their ballots, fill up their ballots, and do the voting there. And the rest of the islands were they were mailed, because back then we were hybrid postal, meaning to say a mix of postal voting and personal voting for Guam residents. But this year, for this election cycle, we're doing straight postal. Except that in Guam, we gave residents in Guam up to April 10 to express their preference via email. They can look up the announcement on our Facebook and website online. They can express their intent via email that they wish to personally pick up their ballots and deliver their ballots at the consulate, if that's what they prefer. If we don't receive an email from you, we are presuming that we go ahead with mailing your ballots to you. So you can expect to receive your ballots by April 13.
Well, there was a good example because one of my chukarinas,
Yeah.
Tess Veracruz, is going off island.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
she leaves on the 13th of April
Right.
and doesn't come back till, I think the election is over
Right.
already.
Right.
So what
we
she
can
would
opt
do-
to get.
Yeah. What she would do is she's gonna come to the consulate's office on Thursday.
Earlier, right?
Yeah, and then she's going to
Right.
Hi.
Personally get her ballot.
personally get her ballot, and then she's going to mail it back.
Right.
So, okay.
Mhm. So anyway, that's one reminder. Also that all our registered voters in the other islands, Saipan, Tinian, Rota, Koror, Yap, Chuk, Ponape, Kosray, and Majuro, and even I think we have a few voters in Ibay, Kwajalein.
Wow.
So I hope the mail service gets your ballots there on time,
On time,
and that you
yeah.
please send them back to us in time also. You have
But
until May 13.
But in the past experiences you've had, it's just like here, if it's not
properly addressed. Yes.
if it's not a presidential election,
Yeah.
there is not much
Interest.
participation.
Right. Right.
So what has been your experience?
But this actually, in my case personally, this is my first time to experience a non-presidential, because in
Yes.
2016 it was a presidential election.
Right.
So we had quite a high turnout among the different foreign service posts.
Of course,
Oh,
because
total,
it was the
in total,
president,
right.
Everybody was just so excited to
Excited.
find out who's going to win,
Yeah.
And
But
I
this
just-
year, it's my first time to experience a non-presidential election. It's the first midterm election that I will experience on this posting. Normally, you'd be lucky to serve on 2 elections during one 6-year tour. So that's
Quite
going to be an
interesting.
Right.
yeah, and that was my first time to see that.
Machine?
Yeah, and I was thinking, this is the machine that is used,
Mhm.
and specifically in the Philippines. I think it was designed
Right.
purposely for
Right.
For
Yes.
for the usage
Yes.
in the Philippine
Yeah.
election,
Mhm.
because it's nothing close
It's
to
a
what we
custom.
have
It's a
here.
custom design.
It's different, right?
That's different.
Yeah, because every electoral electoral system has its own idiosyncrasies, right? For example, the candidates that we have, right? It's going to be different from one country to, or even one state to another, right? So So, and also the way we conduct our elections, how how it's prescribed, where it goes from the precinct level, how it's canvassed until
Yeah.
it gets to the national canvassing board. So it's also quite different. But for a still developing country, I think it's admirable how we've managed to enfranchise our citizens who are living abroad, because even our ASEAN neighbors are, asking how.
So Consul, in the Philippines, it's going to be the same machine that the
Yes,
country
yes,
used?
except that they're doing it one day. So
I see.
imagine the challenge of the teachers.
That's
They have to handle the influx of voters that will personally vote,
Oh my
because in the
goodness.
Philippines it's going to be personal
Yeah,
voting. You have to go to the polling station to
And
actually
then
cast your vote.
your vote.
Here we can, we'll be receiving ballots delivered to us by mail every day.
Yeah.
And then every Monday and Thursday at 9 a.m., our special board of election inspectors will do the ballot feeding, and that's open to the public. So anybody in Guam who's a Filipino
March.
and preferably a registered voter and preferably a representative of any of the candidates can come and observe the proceedings.
I see.
It's part of our democratic system of government. So there. Anyway, also I'd like to remind our listeners that the deadline for the VIP tour, which is the rebranding of the Ambassadors Tour, is April 15. So please, we
that's
are now
next
running,
week.
I think, a close third of all U.S. posts. So we have
Wow.
more participants than Washington D.C. and New York. So
Wow.
so let's Guam, let's do this. Let's be third place
Let's
again.
go, rah, rah, rah.
We're going.
So basically, we're competing with
I wish
all
I
the
could.
U.S. posts, and now including our. We were just talking to our guest before we got on here that we have our new, actually not new, but our reopened consulate in Houston. So they're
In
in Houston. So
Oh, in
they're
Houston.
they're now
That's
part of the
good.
fray for this year's VIP tour. So
You
we'll
know,
see what happens.
Saturday, I was talking to my cousin, and she was for the longest time the tourism attaché.
In
And she stayed in Germany for
Okay.
9 years.
right.
Her name is Marina Villanueva.
She's there now.
Oh no, she got married and they live there. She's no longer, she retired, she got out of it. And she's married to someone she met in Germany, Rolf, and they live in Ohio. And knowing that we lived in Ohio, in Cleveland, my husband, I never met him, she got married late, and she said she wants to talk to you. She got all excited because for two reasons. One is because we have an affinity to Cleveland.
Right.
Our oldest daughter was born in
Born there.
Cleveland, Ohio. Second, we both have spinal stenosis.
So were you comparing notes?
Oh
How
my
to
God!
manage
Yeah. I said, well, I stopped taking Celebrex. I take just Tylenol just for this and that.
Oh, and by the way, I'd like to take this opportunity also for our kababayans in our jurisdiction, right? The Philippine Consulate General in Agana, Guam, has already opened its Twitter and Instagram account. So it's PH in Agana. So that's PH in Agana for both Twitter and Instagram. And you can start following us because we will be posting a lot of the reminders regarding the elections on those social media platforms, as well as our Facebook page and our website. So, ayan po.
Wow.
So, yung mga kababayan natin
Really?
na gustong...
Everybody is into social media, Twitter.
we had to get on
Instagram.
one point or another, So, and besides, that's part of the thrust now of the Department of Foreign Affairs. So, practically all our foreign service posts have both Twitter and Instagram, and it's all in that format. So, for example, in San Francisco, it's PH in SF,
And Hawaii is
PH in Honolulu,
in
and,
Honolulu.
in London, it's PH in United Kingdom, I think, or something
UK.
like that. So, and you know, we're all racing each other to get to 10,000 followers. So again, Guam, Saipan, Tinian, Rota, and all the other islands,
Yay.
please follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
We can be number
Yeah.
one.
You will get a lot of followers. Offer them a prize.
Right.
That's one way. Yeah.
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 So
if
we
you
still
put up
have,
one of
like-
your paintings,
Yeah.
you get to 10,000.
Oh my gosh! You know what? That painting, I was starting to tell him. We didn't finish.
Right.
The painting that he has at the consulate
Mhm.
in the
Oh, did
receiving
you see?
area.
Right.
I saw it. I went, oh God, this is beautiful. Oh my God, this is beautiful. This is awesome. I kept on raving about it.
And then you look
And
at who
then-
the
And
artist
who's the
was.
painter? Of course.
Your kumpare?
Which reminds me, I'll take a picture of that and post it on our Instagram.
Oh my goodness, yes. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow,
Yeah.
I need to have something similar to that for my living
And it
room.
matches with the furniture, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
And
Alright.
also another big thing that happened here on Guam. Jollibee is already
Oh,
open.
yes. That's a
It's
good
crazy.
one.
900 people stood in line overnight, you know, and it was
Oh
raining
my
hard the
goodness.
I
next day,
mean, you know,
next morning.
listen to this.
Okay, yes.
This is a very, very common
Mm.
illness of people wanting to see something that's new.
Right.
New and sparkly.
Cheesecake Factory
Oh.
in Kapolei.
Uh-huh.
My goodness.
What?
Every time you try to go in there,
Mm.
you will have to turn your back because you cannot wait that long, you know,
For a cheesecake.
for it. Yeah. So we went there once and twice and three. I said, forget it. So now that it's been opened, you know, easily go in there,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It's
It
like
was
one
the
of-
same with I think IHOP. It was very
Yeah.
hard here when it
Right,
first
right.
Even
opened.
the
Everything is
Jack-
like that.
Jack in the Box,
Right,
right?
right.
Did you see the
Right,
line
yeah,
before
yeah.
during the opening?
So I'm practicing
Oh my
now.
God.
I'm practicing a bit of delayed gratification with the Jollibee. So I
Well,
think I
anyways,
still have enough time. I'm
yeah,
living in
yeah,
Hawaii,
yeah.
so
Anyways, congratulations, Alex Gagaring and your
Right,
staff.
correct,
You know,
yeah,
and to
Alex.
Jollibee.
yes.
Yeah.
I even took pictures of Jollibee in Hawaii and showed it. They were all dancing. There were
We
several
have the
of them.
mascot today, right? Yeah.
I don't know who's
Yeah.
the mascot.
Right.
Was there some event going on? Because I saw when I was driving here, there was like people under a tent.
Right.
Yes.
They
They're
put out
waiting.
tents.
Oh, they're
Just
all
waiting
they were
in
They're
line.
just waiting in line.
Over
Oh.
queuing
But
since
last night, the other
I think Norman
night-
was there
Huh?
since last night.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard
Who?
he had some postings. Norman, Annalisa.
Yeah.
Norman?
I think he
Yeah.
posted.
He was there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that
he was there. He
Jollibee
posted
boy.
something on social
But I
media.
wanted to find out. I said to Mar Palisok, the manager, you know, of PNB, I said, well, do they have the palabok? Because that's my favorite
Right.
in that one, you know. And how about mashed potatoes?
Oh.
Yeah. Because in Hawaii, they serve the
Yeah.
chicken joy with mashed potatoes. And they give you automatically an extra gravy.
Oh.
And their gravy is very, very
Very
good.
good.
Yes. And their palabok is so good. I love their palabok. So, and then Mar must be the spokesperson said, oh, coming soon. Okay, I don't know when it is, you know, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Have
So if
you
you
tried
want
that
some-
one,
No.
Jackie?
Which one?
The
Jollibee?
the Jollibee.
No.
Once you
Maybe
try
one
it.
day.
Yeah.
No, Jackie. Anyway, we're closer to the.
Right.
You can easily go there.
We'll
Right?
drive through one
During
of these days.
during
When they
breakfast,
open
right?
their one.
So, early on, we know that there was a long line.
Right.
Right after
Were you able
we
to
went.
go during the opening?
No,
That's
because we
so
were
crazy.
over
That's
at,
crazy. I
at
mean,
the
it's
we
so-
were over at the Philippine consulate,
I see.
and Jerry has been craving for chicken. He says, "I want to eat chicken," you know, and he says, "Can I have
Chicken joy.
What?
No, no,
Chicken
he
joy?
said chicken joy, and I said, "Forget it."
You're gonna send it.
You know?
I think they were giving out numbers. It was like at 800
Oh,
something
wow.
yesterday. So
Oh my
I don't know.
But I hope that you know enthusiasm will continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
I
It's
think
not
it
just
will
going
because,
to be. It's not going to be a sporadic or seasonal.
Yeah.
Like Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Well, anyway,
How about the drive-through?
they haven't opened it yet.
They haven't
I
opened it.
think
Yeah,
they
they'll
have
open
a
it
drive.
soon. I think they're just waiting for the crowds to
Yeah.
To
subside.
subside.
I saw some people also
I don't know.
about to
I
go
haven't
through.
tried.
Okay. So how many weeks can we wait? I mean,
Hopefully by Easter Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully by then.
oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Hopefully
you-
by Easter Sunday.
Oh,
it'll be
yeah,
easier.
And you would think that there won't be any line because it's Easter week, right?
Right,
You
right.
know? I mean Holy Week. So you don't know whether they're offering.
Right.
It's just like
Right.
at Wendy's. We went to Wendy's, you know.
Mm.
Everybody, you know,
They have
who
like
frustrated after the long wait over at Jollibee, they went to Wendy's, you know. And Wendy, my Wendy, you know, Wendy Mendiola, hi Wendy.
Uh-huh.
You know, I said, oh, their codfish is so good there. And I felt like eating, craving for fish
Yeah.
fillet.
The,
And as soon as we got in there and we saw this line, and we went, oh my God, they're out of it. I said, really?
Yeah.
Who's
you
the
should
manager?
try it. It's good.
I know, who's the manager, you know?
Mm.
And of course, Maggie's there. Oh my God, Mama! It goes like that, you know? You should tell Jim Espaldon and Jim Espaldon, you know, that you're
Yeah,
craving.
that's true. Sometimes they run out of that.
And
Yeah.
we need it because it's the Holy Week.
Right, right, right.
Wow, there's a lot of people.
Even
they
if
order.
it's not Holy Week.
Speaking
you
of
know.
Holy Week, I'd like to remind also our listeners that we will be closed, the Consulate General of the Philippines in Guam will be closed on 18 and 19, which is Monday, Thursday, and Good Friday.
And that's good to
observance
remind
of
them
Holy
because
Week,
because they may be off from work and I said
Right,
perfect time, I'm gonna go vote.
yeah. Right,
But
right.
Mm.
Even our election operations will be suspended on those days, so we won't be conducting any.
even in the Philippines, right?
Right, yeah. Well, their
Offices
elections
are closed
yeah,
also.
offices are closed also.
That's not a good time to go see the doctor because all the doctors are gone.
Again?
Yep.
Oh
Some of them will
yeah.
probably be here in Guam.
They will be here playing golf.
Anyway, we have a guest, our first guest here in the station. You ready?
But Consul, can I just greet
Okay,
our,
sure. Yeah.
our followers? And
Of course,
listeners,
yes.
on our Facebook.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, of course, my number one fan there, Christine, my daughter, is there right now
Oh,
watching
she
us.
is.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi,
Twin.
Christine.
Okay, and then we have Miss Raquel
Galang?
Galang. There you go, Galang.
How are the kids? How are the boys?
I hope
You know, I hope they're okay.
they're okay now.
Yeah.
And then Norma Gase, my former
Right.
classmate in the Philippines, and of course we have Ed Valencia,
Mm.
and
Oh, that's my nephew. He's in
your nephew.
Texas.
Yes.
Oh.
Mhm.
So he's listening from Texas, right? In Texas right now?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Yeah.
And then Babe.
Die hard
someone-
yun. Ilang
Oo
beses
nga.
nang nanalo ng ilang... How many times did he win in that
For
parole
that lantern
contest?
contest.
Ah, okay. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Okay, and then we have Babe Zamora, and then we have Miss Miss Rebecca Flores from Saipan. She's
Mm.
also, yeah, she's my sister in church.
Wow.
They
Wow,
just came
yeah.
over here last.
I want
week.
also to congratulate the members and officers of the National Association of Mapua.
Mapua,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, here because they are the host
Mhm.
for the Mapua World.
Oh.
And there's about 200
Mhm.
Mapuas.
here. Yes, Mapuans, you know,
Yes,
from
we
all
saw
over
them
the
this
world. I
morning.
understand there were some from Italy and from other.
Nice.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
yes. You know how Filipinos are. I'm telling you, they're all over.
Really?
They are in Latvia. They
They all
are.
came from the Philippines. Those-
Yeah, but
Right.
a lot of them, like
Okay.
those Hi Irma and Ben Kobakob,
Mm.
and Rick and Pia, Rick and Helen Guanyo.
Mm.
Okay, Helen and Irma used to work for FHP.
Ah,
Pacific Care,
okay.
that's why, you know. But I'm telling you, they are all excited. I said, great promotion for wow.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. You know, because a lot of our guests come over from the Philippines. When I ask them, I'm surprised that they're very well traveled, but they haven't been to Guam before. You know, and
Right.
it's
Some
so
of them
close.
is the first
you know,
time.
But a
and
lot
so-
of those that came from the mainland USA all flew from there to Manila.
Oh.
Right.
It's
from
a
Manila.
lot cheaper
and faster.
and faster. So they just bought tickets from
Manila
Manila
to Guam.
To Guam.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they can
So
spend
that's
more
the
time
trick,
in
listeners.
Oh, yeah.
You want a cheaper fare?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Anyway.
then, so tomorrow, you know, we have a group here, the FHP HML alumni,
Mm-hmm.
and we're hosting a dinner, you know, for Irma and also for Helen. And it's a great time for a reunion, catch up, you know, reminisce all the good
All
times
the
that we
previous
have.
employees.
So it will be at the Niji at 6 p.m. and it's all being reserved.
Wow,
you know.
good food
And
there.
thank you very much, Liz Hines, you know, for being the main coordinator.
Yeah,
You know,
good
so
food on there.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, okay, so please,
want to-
Kuya Rolly, introduce our first
Of
guest.
course, our Suke, GRMC.
Oh, of course, yes.
So we have Miss Sherry Vasquez here. She's an X-ray / bone dentist at
Density.
Density Tech
Oh,
and
yeah.
radio.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we look
I
so
think I had
video.
that not too long
She's
ago.
the one who looks at your spine?
I had an MRI, you know.
Right.
Oh, that's-
yeah,
okay.
over on the other side. But it was Jerry who had it at the GRMC, you know.
Mhm.
So I really like well, I want to say hello first to my good friend Dr. Carmelino Galang.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yes.
of course to the administrator, hi Mike, Dr. Mike
Mike
Cruz.
Cruz.
Because he was working for FHP as a surgeon, you know, and he was the one who did my biopsy.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
All right, so welcome to our show, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Hello.
And I was just excited when I heard before the program started that she's from Houston.
Are we talking about what?
Boots and hats and steak.
And steak.
Steak.
Oh my God.
No, Conso really wants to go.
Wants to go where?
I said there was only one other post
I
that I wanted to
know.
trade for Guam.
I
It was
know.
Houston.
And it's
they
perfect
have
because that's the
great
home base
steak.
for United Airlines.
Right, and they have great steak and great cardiology hospitals.
Oh, not only that, but you know, MD Anderson in Texas.
Right.
MD Anderson is the one of the top
And
Cancer
cancer.
centers. Yes.
Right.
They said they have the best steak.
You get to pick your longhorn.
Oh my
Well,
God.
anyway, Sherry, tell us how was your journey to Guam? I mean,
Yes.
how did it get started?
How were you recruited?
Yes, there you go.
Were you given free airfare and all that stuff?
Facebook, actually.
Oh,
you know, we were
okay.
talking about social media
Facebook.
earlier. April, which is the manager of radiology now, had made a post on Facebook if
Uh-huh.
anybody wanted to come to Guam.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know where Guam is or what Guam does, but how would you apply? And she told me. I put my resume in, and about 2 months later, I was on Guam.
Right.
So,
So,
with
how did you
GRMC.
fly over from Guam? From Houston? Through Honolulu?
Yes, through
Right.
Honolulu.
Yes, through Honolulu.
Oh, okay.
So how long have you been with?
16 hours.
Yeah.
Nice.
How long have you been with GRMC now?
About 7.5 months.
I
It's so
see.
new.
Yes, and I love it. I like Guam.
I tell you, Guam is where our heart is. We have lived here since 1978, and we said, fine, we'll be out of here in a year or two. We're going back to the mainland. You know?
Look, how many years
I
now?
hear that a lot. I was just staying for a year or two, and then, they've been here 30 years or 20 years.
A lot of the teachers.
I hear that a
Oh
lot.
my goodness.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the teachers, have said, we're living in that. And look at that. They've been here like 35, 45 years.
Yes.
So you're an X-ray and bone density tech.
Yes, sir.
Can you please explain to our listeners
Yeah,
what
what
you
is
do
it?
at your job?
I
The
did
X-ray part I think is quite familiar, but the
Right.
bone density tech.
bone density. They haven't had a tech for a while, so when I came, that's what I did in Houston. So I just kind of filled the spot,
Right.
and it's trying to keep Guamanians healthy,
Mhm.
keep your bones strong, so we don't have those breaks, and so we don't have those issues. And you don't realize that your exercise, drinking, smoking, that all affects your bones, and
Correct.
you want to keep them strong so that you don't have those falls and those breaks that really
Yes.
set you back.
So when does one actually get to see the bone density tech?
The only primary
At what
care
stage?
physician
Or,
will
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Your
Or-
primary, your,
Typically, what would be their condition be in? Are they athletes that suffered an injury or?
actually no. Women, period,
Right.
because you know everything, childbirth and
Ah.
everything we go through.
I think women have a higher risk of osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis, yes, sir. And your insurance, Medicaid will cover it. Medicare will cover it. 65 and over for women and 70 over for men, unless you have an additional risk factor, which is you're on if you take a lot of steroids, which a lot of people do. You know, if you smoke, if you drink, your weight. Your bone structure, if you're small in frame, you have more of a likelihood to have a fracture, and that's when you would want to come and see us. And you know,
And also, you know, for those who have had cancer,
definitely.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's a
It's also
requirement. Yes,
requirement.
yes.
A lot of the medication you take for anything affects your bones. And you need your calcium and your vitamin D because most people, even though you live on Guam, you don't get outside in the sun like you should.
Right.
And you lack that vitamin D. So, you know, that's what keeps those bones strong and healthy.
Right.
So, you know, you want to
Right.
see, and the doctor can do any, it's
How the Filipinos, you know, they don't like the sun. They always have an umbrella to protect them from the sun.
Right.
yes.
You know.
Because you've heard so many bad things for so long about how bad the sun is, but we need that vitamin D to
Correct.
keep those bones strong so you don't have the issues.
Oh,
So
that's
she's
why
been
some
here
of
7.5
people like take the vitamin
Oh,
D.
D.
Vitamin D, calcium.
Calcium. I take calcium.
Mm.
I
Is
take.
there such
I take.
Is there
I
such
think-
thing as like too much calcium, too much vitamin D, or
There is. That's why you
Yeah.
really do need to talk to your doctor and make sure that you're getting the recommended dose for you.
Correct.
There are guidelines, but again, your doctor's
Yeah.
going to know more about
Correct.
you and more about what you need
Correct.
than anything. So you need to talk with your doctor. If you think that, or if you've noticed that, you know, you were 2 inches, 3 inches taller than years ago than you are now, that could be an indication that your bones are starting to weaken and that, you know, you may need that bone density.
Mm.
So,
So what kind of patients are you frequently seeing on Guam, or are they those suffering from?
A lot of those new women within that age group that she mentioned, you know, because I was saying I added on those who have had cancer, women, you know, like me. I needed to have bone density test every so often. Yeah, yeah.
it's recommended every 2 years.
Yes, also it's every 2 years. So
At
I
least
think
every
it's
2
time
years.
for me.
Well, you need to come see me.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
At
will.
yours, you need to come see me.
Yeah.
So what's typically what's your typical day like at the hospital?
At the
So you
hospital.
come in like at what time and
I come in
how
at
long do you
7:30.
usually- Okay.
We haven't built up, since we didn't have bone density for so
Right.
long, we really haven't built up a lot of patients yet.
Mm.
So mostly x-ray, but we do.
The regular one.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Regular x-ray.
Mm.
But a lot of our patients, like she said, most of the women that I've seen are breast cancer survivors.
Mm.
And they do their mammogram and they'll do their bone density, and a lot of times on the same day.
Yes, yes.
So, and I'm excited because
And
I'm,
you do have your mammogram tech
Yes,
over there,
ma'am.
right?
We,
So what is
uh,
schedule?
yes, and I'm actually learning to do mammo, so I can do everything, you know,
Wow,
to help
that's
the women
awesome.
stay healthy. Because
Yeah.
here, I didn't realize what a large population of breast cancer there was on Guam.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was, you know, when
Why is it this?
Sorry.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's because sometimes it's because of the lifestyle,
Mm.
and there's no specific
And it's
reason.
also
you know.
genetic, right? I mean,
And
breast
some,
cancer.
it cannot be pointed out completely that it's
Right.
genetic, you know.
Mm.
But to
But
be
it
on the
becomes a risk
precautionary
factor,
side,
right? For-
yes, you have a higher risk
Right.
factor if your mother,
Right.
you know, or
They
your
have that.
or aunt, the sister on the maternal side or the
Mm.
paternal side, you know, or a sibling had, you know,
Mhm.
his history of breast
Right.
cancer,
Breast cancer.
and it comes in different, you know, different sizes and whatever, you know. So
Then the gravity is very different
yeah,
from
like a
this.
friend of ours, they used to own the SC Viscara
Mm.
business here on Guam, and it was based at Anderson and at the old airport.
Mm.
Her daughter, Vicky's daughter, Kathy Nazareno,
Mm.
had cancer,
Mm.
and then it was in remission, and then it came back. just passed on.
Mm.
You know, she just passed on, and you just have to accept it.
Right.
But that's why your mammogram is so important. Now I believe it was 30 that they passed the law now on Guam that you can get your mammogram. That
At
was
age of
at the
30.
age of 30. It
30.
will be
How
covered.
frequently
It
should
was
a
at
woman?
it was at the age of
Once
40.
a year. Yes,
Once a
it
year.
was.
It's
It
once
was.
a year.
It's once a year. It was 40, and then the last governor signed it into law
Not to
that
reduce-
Yeah.
30.
to bring it
Yes,
down to
30.
30.
because it is, like I said, it's so prevalent here on Guam.
Younger
And the
younger.
the earlier you catch it,
The better,
the
yes.
higher the chances. of
Most
being
definitely, most definitely.
Mm.
So that's a wonderful thing. So all the women need to really, and men too. Don't forget.
Oh
We
yes,
did-
men also they do get breast cancer.
Yes, they do,
Really?
and it's
Oh, yeah.
nothing to be ashamed of. We actually did
Yes.
have a male patient that came in, which is unusual, you know.
Mhm.
But he was a younger guy, and I was just amazed and so impressed with him. And I told him, I said, I'm so proud that you actually came in and had it checked
Well,
out.
for men,
So-
what are the symptoms like? I mean,
Yeah.
is it the same like with the women that you do?
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
they have
yes.
lumps. They have
Yes.
lumps.
Okay, if you feel something, then
yeah.
that's something
Yes.
that you have to be
Yeah.
concerned
Yeah.
about.
Yes.
And
Go to the doctor
Or
and have it
pain.
checked out.
Or secretion from the nipple.
Yes.
Mm.
And it's the same with men and women. And
Yeah.
with him, he did notice that it was, you know, there was a lump, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor ordered the mammogram. And you know, that's a big thing for a man, because most men are like, "Oh, that's for women. Men don't do it. That's
Yeah,
for
macho.
women." No,
No, the
yes,
Or some
Macho
are
man.
just plain scared of the doctor.
exactly,
So They don't want to
exactly.
hear the bad news from the
Right.
doctor. So
But the sooner you find out,
Right.
the better chance you have.
Yes.
So that's.
So
everything.
how's your past 7 months been like on Guam?
Right.
How are you
Any
finding
social
it?
life?
Not really.
Oh.
We're. I have
Have
a
you
13-year-old.
seen the-
I'm not allowed. I'm a son, and I'm not allowed to have a social
Sorry,
life.
have you seen the? Is this-
Yeah,
Yes,
have you been
sir.
around the island?
It's beautiful. It's
Okay.
beautiful. And I'm enjoying Guam. It's very, you know, I came from Houston, fast paced, everybody everywhere, everything everywhere.
Slow
And
down.
it's, yes, slow down,
Yep.
relax, just very mellow. Very, very simple, which
Simple,
is not
right?
a bad thing. Simple is great. And that's Guam.
And you can breathe the fresh, clean
Yes,
air.
yes.
Right?
And
Yes.
just go to the beach and
Yes.
yeah, enjoy
Yeah,
it.
it's
Right?
you know, it's very simple.
Simple.
Yeah, simple, you know. And but a lot of those who have come and work here, and they compare and compare. Oh, back in the States, back in the States, back in the... I said, listen, I think you should really go back to the States. It was like every morning, it was just like the national anthem that I would hear. And finally, I got almost sick of that. I really think you should go back.
We do that, but it doesn't mean we don't like Guam. It's just we can't believe we're here in paradise, as opposed to the, what do they call it, the rat race,
Right.
you know, in Houston.
I think that's a major difference really between Guam and any other place that you can find yourself for work or whatever. It doesn't feel like you're, you know, in the rat race.
Exactly.
Even if you're still working, even if you have a productive career here in Guam.
Guam and you can compare. You cannot compare Guam, you know, because
Yeah.
it has its own
Anywhere.
technique.
Yeah.
It has its own culture, you know. It has its own flavor.
Yeah.
OOG.
You have to be ready to slow down, though.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
because you know, I was so used
And
to
if you
like.
want it slower, go to Saipan.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I
Have
can
you
handle
been?
that.
Have you been to
No, sir, I
Saipan?
have not.
Oh. We stayed there for 10 years. Before we moved here, we were there. Oh, so I love
The
it.
first few months,
It is,
though, I was
it is.
pulling my hair out because I'm like, I just mailed it. Why is it not there? It should be here. Why is it not there? I just ordered this. Why is it not here? You know. And
See,
once
see,
you
I
get
tell you.
used to
Yeah,
that,
you used
now
to
you
it.
have to get used to it.
Yeah.
It gives you a
Yeah.
little while. It's not a bad thing, but you do have to adjust.
Right.
Right.
You have to
But
adjust.
Sherry, have you been to the South?
Not a lot, not yet.
I love the
Oh,
South.
I love
I
the
hear it's
love
the prettiest.
You know what? I
It's
went like
cool.
Saturday because I want to see somebody. She's a well-known
When are
artist
you
here,
going
Judy
back? When are you
Forrest.
going again?
Oh,
Can you
and when
bring
I was
us?
passing by, I said, "Whoa, look at this!
I gotta
That-
say hello
that's
to the
really-
place where Magellan, you know.
It's really nice." I said, "I wish I could stay here and live here."
It is. A lot
So
of
nice.
them,
Really?
they like
Love it.
the artists, they just love it.
Yeah.
And you could hear the sound, the
Right,
waves,
the
you know.
waves.
I have-
And can I just say something? Julie, thanks for the fresh lemon juice and the papayas. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, I need to go there.
It's
Yes.
really good. I said, who? So she's the one who made
Fresh
it.
lemon
Yeah,
juice.
fresh
Wow.
from her
Backyard, of
Yeah.
course.
I said, whoa.
Then we want to go with him for sure.
Yeah,
We're
really.
gonna have a shooting
You set up
probably.
an excursion to the south.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to come us, 2 more weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
you want to come? Okay.
Of course.
All right.
I made my first
And even closer,
reservation.
you wanna come? Okay.
Probably after the elections, I'll find time to
You'll
go
find-
down there.
That won't be till
you have,
No, you know
13.
what?
no,
we
but
should
you have to
do
be
that
there
when you're
every day
leaving.
for the next month.
Oh, I'm leaving April 25th.
Mm.
Oh, you wanna go?
Yeah.
somewhere?
Yes.
So we
Okay,
have barbecue.
you find
and-
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 We passed by that. How do you call that? The one
Bear
that,
Rock.
No, before
Where?
Bear Rock. The one with the swimming pool
That's
and
Bear Rock.
Inarahan.
Inarahan.
Oh,
Inarahan.
Oh, very
Inarahan
nice.
pool, and then there's the
Oh,
Bear
yeah,
Rock
yeah,
right
yeah,
there
yeah.
because it's shaped like a bear.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So
there's still a lot to see on the island, Sherry. So
Yeah, Sherry.
good luck with your work at GRMC.
So you have family here with you?
Yeah.
Just my son.
How old is
Oh.
He is 13.
he? Oh, how does he like it so far?
He likes it, but he was like, he's your typical, teenage boy.
Yeah.
The slower and the
What
lazier,
school
the
does he
better.
go to?
Yeah.
What school does he go
He
to?
goes to Guahan Academy.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Yes, and I love it. The teachers there, I just want to say thank you for putting up with him and not calling me every day. I love it. They're great. I really love it.
Who's having that? Is it
Guahan Academy. Faye?
Faye?
Faye Obales.
Obales. Yeah.
It's one of the charter schools.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
and they are.
Yeah, Chairman is a good friend of ours. Is Faye.
Faye.
Faye Obales.
Okay.
So you want to have any shout
Yeah,
outs
any
for
shout
the people
outs?
at the hospital
Over at
or any of
GRMC,
your
Yes,
friends?
I want to say hello to everybody. Michelle and let's see, Zane. Who else? I'm gonna forget somebody and they're gonna be mad. And all the Johns, because there's a bunch of Johns there, and Dave and
Alan
Cheryl.
Natividad.
Oh, of course, Mr. Allen.
Alan, hello. Hello,
And
Alan.
yes.
Yeah,
everybody.
and then also Maribel
Right.
Paris.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And
well,
we
anyway,
have-
thank you for dropping by the station, and
Yes, very
we'll find time to invite you again and
Yeah.
check on you
Definitely.
how you're finding Guam and
Yeah,
what
give
other
us a
adventures.
progress note.
Maybe you've
Of
gone to
course.
Saipan by then.
I'll call you. I'll call you.
It's really small.
Thank you very
So
much for
thanks for
having
coming
me. It
by,
was nice
Sherry.
meeting you.
And we'll take a short break, and magbabalik po ang
Kumusta kabayan?
Okay.
Yes,
For
thank you guys for having me. It
Saipan,
was great.
imagine Guam, but 3 times smaller. Yeah.
It's taken me to 7 months
I
to
lived-
adjust to Guam.
I was born there.
Really?
Yeah. I
Where?
Yeah.
In Saipan?
2002. Yeah. And then I came here.
We left 2001 there.
Oh, I was there.
Yeah.
don't know.
We
I
still.
haven't made it
Yeah,
there yet.
yeah,
How's
yeah.
it doing after the storm?
Oh,
Is
right.
it back up?
Slowly, they're putting
They're still getting
They're trying.
Yeah, that's the
That was a
problem.
lot of
Set up also?
para
When I hit
Patayin ko muna to, or what?
cargo ships, big airplanes there.
I was running into people like